Well, I want to welcome everybody to today's exciting version of Move and Stay Strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, Today, we're going to cover an important topic, and that is just moving. When you're in motion, that's good. If you stop moving, there's really no likely good outcome from that. So, uh, normally, right now, at least, well, we're in abnormal times with COVID-19 and we're stay at home. You're asking yourself, well, how can I exercise in my house or in my room? And today you're going to get answers from the experts. So welcome, and we're going to cover about 20, 25 minutes of content, which is going to feature Katie Stevens, physical therapist of Steps for Recovery, who we've worked with, had the privilege to work with for many years now. Actually talk about mobility, show some things, and maybe even ask you to participate if you have the courage to in your room. So with that, we always like to start with a quote. Um, Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it's the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. And if you know this famous president that said this, please in chat say that president's name, and to help, it was a president in the 20th century. So Micah, who's our MC, if you see something pop up. Okay, we're as a bonus, we're going to give you the answer. And you might be surprised. It's John Kennedy, who we know struggled with many, many ailments, but did a lot of swimming and so forth. So again, movement is so vital to holistically take care of yourself. With COVID-19, we thought we'd share some facts. We always like to do some research, the CDC and so forth. And these were some compelling statements from very good sources. When it comes to fighting the coronavirus, exercise is preventive medicine. The New York Post, I love that, is preventive medicine. And amid the rules to stay home, there's another consistent message: keep moving. Exercise, outdoors, indoors. It helps maintain good physical and, more importantly, mental health, because Gina and I can attest to that. We work out 3 to 4 days a week virtually with Camp Gladiator, and the alarm goes off in the morning, and I'm like, I'm going to blow this off. But then you're going to feel so good afterward. It motivates you, and you can say, I accomplished this for today. And then deep breathing exercises, it's great for your lungs. Because we know the breathing is an important part of, COVID, when you have some breathing problems. So it's good to practice that. So today's agenda is going to be in 2 parts. First, we're going to feature Gina, Director of Aware Senior Care, who we'll introduce in a moment, kind of set up Katie and talk about, well, why would I lose my mobility? I'm going to be mobile for the rest of my life. Okay, well, what can happen if I do lose this mobility, and really no good can come from it? With the stay-at-home order, I'm in my home, so how can I exercise? Well, we have an answer. It's Katie Stevens and Steps for Recovery. She's going to show you. And then at the end of this, we're going to open up the Q&A to the audience, which has been really great. Think of Gina and Katie as panelists or experts to answer your questions. So again, Katie Stevens, Steps for Recovery. Her and her husband have a wonderful company, Steps for Recovery and Physical Therapy. Encourage you to check Katie out, look at their website, what they do. But I just feel great physical therapists and occupational therapists are just amazing people. They can transform you. And I always recommend people who have various issues to seek out the advice and support from groups like Katie's. And then Gina, my wife, the Director of Aware Senior Care and the driving force of who we are and what we do. And she's going to talk about home care. And we have lots of experiences working with physical therapists like Katie as a team. And those of you that join us in other webinars, we have a consistent theme, and that's elder care is a team sport. It really is. And you can build your team around you. And in fact, we encourage you to seek out individuals and build your care team. So without further ado, I'm going to set this up for Gina.
So about your mobility. So, why would your mobility change? Well, as we age, things change. And seniors will find out that you do have more muscle weakness, and that's due to lower hormone levels. That's just part of anatomy. There's poor blood flow because as we age, the vessels, our arteries and veins, they harden, and it's harder to get the blood through. You have less cartilage, so you have stiffer joints, and our bones become less dense, which can easily lead to fractures. So diseases, so not just aging, the diseases can really limit our mobility, things like arthritis. If you've had past injuries, you may end up with arthritis at that site. Then there's neurological issues, multiple sclerosis, ALS, Parkinson's, all can have significant impacts on your mobility. Heart problems, congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease makes it harder for your heart to pump effectively through your body. And then the pulmonary, that's the COPD, you're really at risk with this COVID if you have these pre-existing conditions. So all those things can limit your mobility. So what happens if your mobility decreases? What's going to happen?
Not happy.
Unfortunately, falls. Falls is a really big risk, not just for seniors, but for everyone. Just simply difficulty getting in and out of bed. Or, I can't sit on the couch or that chair because it's too hard for me to get back up. Balance issues, unsteady walking, which can lead to falls. Then you can actually end up with poor hygiene because I'm too afraid to get in the shower. I'm afraid I'm going to slip. I'm not confident in getting there. Poor nutrition. It's just too hard to make dinner for one or nutritious meals just for me. Difficulty driving. You have a slower response time. And these things end up with you stop doing the things you really enjoy. And then you may not be able to stay at home, because of this lack of mobility. So what can you do about it? Being a nurse, the first thing I'm going to say is consult with your doctor, and you can still do that with telehealth now, the phone calls, to really discuss the medical conditions that you have. Let them know if you've had any falls and any issues, any concerns that you really have. You can reduce your risk of falling by looking at your environment, and we're going to go through some of that, and making sure you wear appropriate footwear, making sure rubber-soled shoes, or it's better to be barefoot than it is to walk around your house in socks. Walking on socks on any slick surface is a real danger. And establish that exercise activity schedule. If you write it down, you'll make it happen. You can still strengthen your muscles, and that's what's going to keep you moving. And from that, we would like to, another way.
One more time.
One more time. Take a look at your environment to reduce your fall risks. Simple things, adding night lights in your bedroom, the hallway that leads to your bathroom, especially at night, the top of the stairs. Install grab bars near the toilet, that shower and tub. Putting that non-slip mat in your shower or tub is a small thing, make a big difference. Putting in that shower chair, shower bends. My own mother was like, I don't need it. I'm like, well, then just put the shampoo on it. And that way, in case you need it, it's there for you. Watch out, get rid of throw rugs that move. Keeping your walkways free from clutter. Don't drop the things on the floor, and especially be careful on the stairs. And one thing you can do right now while you're staying at home, the things that you use all the time, have them at a convenient level so you're not reaching for things. If I use this all the time, be within arm's reach. And so from there, we're going to let Katie help us get moving.
All right, Katie. So we're going to give Katie, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you're going to take it away. Okay, Katie, you can do it.
All right. Let me bring up my PowerPoint. It's going to look a little familiar here. Here we go. All right. If I noticed when I was doing some test run that sometimes the gallery of pictures gets in the way of the things that are on the slide. So just for our viewers, if the pictures are somehow in the way, if you just move your cursor over the picture, you can choose the icon that is at the top left, which is just a single line, and that will hide them. You can also click and drag them anywhere on your screen so that it's not covering the slide if they're in your way. So just a little pro tip there. But as we get into the presentation, as a physical therapist, I want people active. I want you moving for all the reasons that Gina has already mentioned. And it is my profession and my passion to help people regain mobility when it's lost or maintain it so that you don't lose it. And certainly this is important as you age. We want you to stay active, to stay mobile, because that's going to allow you to stay independent. So staying fit, engaging in regular exercise is an important part of that formula. Now, when people think about exercise, they think about doing exactly what this person in the picture is doing, bicep curls or riding a bike, stationary bike at the gym. But really, any activity that you enjoy can become exercise. So maybe you enjoy walking, maybe you like to play golf or tennis. Um, these are our exercise. Movement is exercise. So an important piece in having a successful exercise program is choosing something that you enjoy. You also want to start slow. If you have not been exercising, you don't want to go out and jump into a 60-minute boot camp style program because you will really be hurting for many days after. So, pick something that's reasonable and, start with 10 minutes, start with 5 minutes if that's what you can do. And each day, try to add a little bit more. Gina's already mentioned this, but writing it down really increases your own personal accountability. If you write it down, it is more likely to happen. All right, staying balanced. Again, Gina's already touched on this, but avoiding falls is key. And so there is very much a use it or lose it phenomenon that goes along with mobility. So a great example of this is getting down on the floor. Primarily, I work with people who are recovering from a stroke. And almost always, one of the goals that is included anytime I do an evaluation is the ability to safely get up and down from the floor. Not only is this an important functional activity and very important should you fall, that you have the ability to get back up, but the simple act of getting up and down from the floor demands a tremendous amount of strength, flexibility, and coordination. And so, if you are able to safely get down onto the floor and back up, just the simple act of getting down and getting up, do it once, do it 3 times every day, or at least several times a week, and you will retain the ability to do it. Now, if you can't do it safely, I'm not suggesting that you just all of a sudden start and get down on the floor. You may need to work with a therapist or work with your home care aide to practice the skills that will allow you to do it. But if you can already do it, this is a great activity for maintaining mobility and safety and will help you retain your independence. Gina's already touched on removing home safety barriers. The one thing I want to add is technology is really helping us in this area. And the home digital personal assistants like Google Home or Alexa, you can turn on the lights just by the sound of your voice. Hey, Alexa, turn on the lights. It takes a little bit of know-how to get it set up, but once the personal assistants are set up in your home, you can do a lot just with voice activated commands. That means you can, from the comfort of your bed, you can turn on the lights before your feet ever hit the floor. Staying engaged is really important for staying active and staying independent. We talk a lot at Steps for Recovery about purpose and how purpose will drive recovery, purpose will drive mobility, because if you have a reason to do something, you're much more inclined to do it. Now, I'm going to talk in a minute about why this is a problem right now. But staying engaged in terms of your exercise, I'm going to offer you some opportunities or some strategies for engaging in exercise programs with friends, with family. And again, you want to tell people about your plan, because when you, not only if you write it down, but if you then also tell someone else what you plan to do, then chances are at some point in the future, they're going to say, hey, how'd that exercise program work out for you? So it really helps with accountability when you not only write it down, but you tell someone else what you're going to do. All right. So, why is exercise important, especially now? Well, we've already talked a little bit about the immune boosting benefits of exercise. So, prevention is worth a whole lot more than a cure at this point because there isn't a cure. So, the best thing that we can do is to prevent the onset of illness. And engaging in a regular exercise program, especially cardiovascular exercise, can help to boost your immune system, which will reduce your chance of contracting COVID-19. It's also going to improve your mood. This is a real problem for people right now. When we are forced to stay at home, when we're forced to stay isolated from other individuals, it is very easy for depression to set in. It is scientifically proven that exercise creates a release of endorphins that can improve your mood. So, again, the simple act of engaging in movement and activity can help to improve your mood and combat depression. With any exercise or with cardiovascular exercise, you're more likely to breathe deeply. And this is going to help keep your lungs healthy. And this is super important because COVID-19 is a primarily respiratory illness. Again, the use it or lose it phenomenon applies. If you are not breathing deeply, if you're not getting air down into the lower lobes of your lungs, you start to get stale and stagnant down there, and that's a breeding ground for viruses and infections. So you want to use the full capacity of your lungs, make sure you're breathing really deep, getting all the dirty old air out and getting nice clean fresh air in. All right, let's talk about purpose again. What is your purpose? Why do you get out of bed every day? What is your reason to move? For a lot of people, this might be volunteering. Maybe you enjoy doing things with your church, going to Bible study. My mom is the primary caregiver for my children while my husband and I are working. So maybe one of your roles is to take care of your grandchildren. People like to travel. They like to engage in educational opportunities to stimulate the mind. Maybe you like to play golf or tennis. This is what I mean by purpose. What's your reason to get up every day? This has gotten a lot harder for people because the stay-at-home order means we can't engage in our purpose anymore. And so it's really easy to sit at home, watch the news, and become very sedentary. This is going to lead to this whole cascade of decline in function and decline in independence. So it is really important that right now, in this time of stay at home, social distancing, we have to create other reasons to move. So here are some tips to maintain health and fitness during COVID-19. But here's a secret. These are true anytime, not only during the pandemic. So we want to keep moving at least 30 minutes a day. Stretch daily. So after you get your aerobic exercise in, then you want to stretch those muscles back out. But it is important to stretch warm muscles, not cold muscles. So that's why this recommendation here of at least 5 minutes of physical activity. So whether that's walking laps around your house, a good time to stretch is after a hot shower because you're organically a little bit, your muscles are warmer, you're a little looser. But so take your shower, do your walk, have your stretch, and then maintaining muscle strength. So I've told you all of the problems now. We're stuck at home. We don't have access to the equipment or the activities that we find fun. But here I am, physical therapist, saying, but you got to still keep moving. You got to stretch and you got to be strong. Well, how am I supposed to do that when I'm stuck at home? Well, how about a video? All right, so here I'm going to foray into the world of additional screen sharing. And I want to show you some resources that we have discovered or identified here at Steps for Recovery that can, let's see, new share, here we go, that can help you to achieve these goals of staying active while you're stuck at home. So I'm going to use YouTube. So I'm going to open my web browser and then I'm going to navigate to youtube.com. And YouTube, if you're not familiar with it, is a social media platform like Facebook or Instagram, but they use videos as the means of communicating. And so when you get onto YouTube, you can type here in the search bar something more generic, such as exercises for seniors. And you'll see you'll have some ads that pop up, but you'll see as you scroll down that you start to have a host of things you can choose from: balance exercises, cardiovascular, stretching, chair exercises, standing exercises. And so this is a great start, but can be a little bit intimidating for someone who has not ever done this before, because you just start looking and you say, well, I don't even know which of these videos to choose from. So on YouTube, they have what are called channels. And we have identified a few. Can you hear me?
Okay, I see the video.
Yeah, we can hear you now. We had a little internet hiccup there.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so what we have done is we have identified a few channels on YouTube that have some appropriate activities for people who have not been exercising, all the way up through regular fitness enthusiasts and everything in between. So at the end, I'm going to tell you where I have all of this information put together in one nice little neat package for you, including tutorials on how to get onto YouTube and access it. But I just want to show you some of the channels. This is HasFit is one that my mom does, and she's 78, or she will be 78 next month. I hope she doesn't get mad at me for getting it wrong. But she's been doing this one each day.
Hey everybody, it's your personal trainer,
Let me
Coach
turn off
Kozak.
the sound. And I really like this channel because on every video there are two people, two trainers. The guy in red is doing more advanced moves, and the woman in pink, or usually she's wearing purple, is doing a modification. So sometimes he's standing and she's sitting in a chair, or he's doing something more high impact and she's doing a low impact version of the same exercise. So this channel is great, especially for people who are exercising together who might be at two different ability levels. And so if you want to exercise with your spouse and one of you is more mobile and fit and the other is just starting out, this is a great channel to start with because there's options for everyone. Now, when you log on to any channel, or when you tune into a channel, you'll get to their main page, which is where I am now, and usually they have some type of introductory video that tells you what the channel is about. And then if you scroll down again, you will see lots of videos to pick from, and on each video you'll have a thumbnail picture of whatever the video is about. Underneath that is a title, and then here in the bottom right corner is a timer, and that tells you how long the video is. And so you can scroll through the titles and see if you can find something that looks interesting to you. And then you can check out the timer and see how long the video is. If it's your first time out, you might not want to pick a 60-minute video, but something in the 20 to 30-minute time range might be very appropriate. And then you just click on the video and it's going to start playing. Now, many of these YouTube videos do have ads, and so you have to watch about 5 or 10 seconds, but then this button that says skip ads comes up, and you can click that, and it'll take you right into the video. And you have the option to make it full screen by clicking on that, and it'll take up your whole screen. And then the trainers will take you through a workout just as if you were in a class at the gym or working out with your own personal trainer. So these are great options. Now, if you have a YouTube account, which again, I have some resources to tell you how to set that up, you can click on this red subscribe button. So if you really like a channel, you might choose to subscribe to it. And that way, anytime the channel produces new content, it's going to show up first when you log on to the channel. And so this is what my mom does. She's subscribed to this channel. And then every day she logs in, and whatever the new video is, that's what she does. Now, if you still would prefer to have things packaged into a little bit more narrow parameters. Um, some of the, well, I'm sorry, I skipped this. We were on the home tab. On the video tab, there are even more videos. So you're not going to run out of things to do because these channels have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. But if you feel like, I'd really like to have things organized by topic, some of the channels will have playlists set up. And so now these are organized into, oh, well, today I want to do a muscle building workout, or I want to do an ab workout, or Katie said cardiovascular is really important, so let's pick a cardio workout. And so this channel has organized some of their videos by topic. Now, one place that we have found some really good ones is in this one called Exercises for Seniors, Obese, Plus Size, and Limited Mobility. And so if you're just starting out, this playlist is a great place to start. And you can see here, we've got things 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you can just scroll down and pick one and just try it. And if you don't like it, turn it off and pick another one. So this is, I won't go into this much depth for each channel, but I do want to show you a couple of more. Jenny's Fit Start is Jenny McClendon is a physical therapist. She and I actually went to school together, and I'm trying to get this one to turn off. There we go. She is also a fitness instructor. And so she has created this YouTube channel that is geared towards seniors. And she has everything from line dancing to stretching to standing aerobics to chair aerobics, low impact, higher impact. So Jenny's Fit Start is also a great option. If you are looking for Tai Chi, what is it? Beach TV. I had a brain fart there. Here we go. Tai Chi is a great activity for improving your balance. And so, I don't know, it didn't take me to their main page. Let's see if I can. Well, this has taken me right to the Tai Chi. Here we go. Here's the main page. So if we get on this Beach TV, this is out of Cal State University, Long Beach. But they have a 5-part series on Tai Chi. So this is great for meditation, it's good for balance and mobility. And so you can, in 5 easy half-hour installments, learn a great sequence for Tai Chi. So this channel has been really, really helpful. One that we have used here in the clinic for some of our Steps live videos is Yoga JP. This is Sherry Zach Morris. I just love her name. Got to say the whole thing. And she does chair yoga, but it's not the slow, like breathe and stretch that you might think. Some of it is, but a lot of hers are faster songs that she has created dances to while you're sitting that also use yoga moves. And so her stuff has been a lot of fun. We did a whole Steps live 30-minute workout where we just picked probably 6 or 7 songs and we went through. So this is a great way to use technology to give you something interesting to do, not just the general stand at the counter and do a few exercises. Now that's certainly is an option, and it's a great option, but this will give you more variety, give you something else to do. So now let me switch us back to the PowerPoint. Here we go. All right. So here on the PowerPoint, then I've listed 5 channels that we've sort of vetted. Oh, Fitness with Cindy, I didn't show you, but she is a Silver Sneakers fitness instructor, and she's got videos for everything. If you like Zumba, if you like Latin dancing, if you like stretching, if you want to do weights or resistance band, Cindy has a fitness routine for you. And again, it's all fitness levels. There's a place on that channel for anyone to start. So I tried to pick ones that I've researched a little bit and know a little bit about, and I feel like are good options for seniors. All right, now I got to move my pictures out of my way here. All right, so they joke that this takes 21 days to form a new habit. I actually looked that up, and that's not scientifically true, but we're going to go with it. Because if you start today and you start getting into this exercise habit today, by the time the stay-at-home order has lifted, you're going to have a whole new lifestyle. You will be in the habit of exercising. So if you start today, you try to aim for 4 or 5 times a week of doing one of these videos, then by the time things open back up again, you may have created a new lifestyle of incorporating regular exercise. A great way to increase your success is to have an accountability buddy. So we've talked about telling your plan to someone else so they can help to hold you accountable, but better yet, get that person to join you in your exercise routine. So Zoom, which we're using now, is a free app, and we can see you, you can see us. So logging on via Zoom is a great way to have that face-to-face contact. You can also use Skype or FaceTime if those are more familiar to you. But if you can't use the technology to connect with someone face to face, then you can set a date. And so for about a year, my husband and I lived in 2 different states. And so in order to stay connected, we weren't married at the time, but in order to stay connected and to feel like we were having date nights, we would do things like say, okay, we're going to go to watch the same movie at the same time, but I was at my theater and he was at his. And so then we would, text at the beginning of the movie, oh, you got your popcorn. And then at the end, we could call each other and talk about the movie that we just saw. But it felt good and it felt connected to be doing the same thing as someone else at the same time. So with the internet, you can access these videos anytime. You just set a date and a time with your exercise buddy and you say, okay, buddy, at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to do this video on this channel. And then at the end of it, we're going to call each other and talk about what fun that was. So setting a date can really help. The other thing, and I will admit, I stole this idea from Julia, one of the occupational therapists who work here. Her fiance does this with his exercise buddy. They have a buddy, he has a buddy, and they work out virtually 6 times a week. Each buddy is responsible for planning 3 workouts. And so now you divide and conquer with you and your buddy. You don't have to plan your own workout every day. You plan 3, your buddy plans 3, you have 6 workouts, half the work. So exercising with a buddy can really increase your success and make this process a lot more fun. Now, exercise 2 does not have to mean doing an exercise video or doing an exercise routine or a set of handouts that your therapist or your doctor has given you. You can incorporate therapeutic activities into your daily routine. And I found, certainly from a stroke recovery standpoint, people are much more likely to be successful with a program when it's part of their routine rather than having to stop and do their exercises. So one common exercise that I'll give people is when you go to your table to have your meal, you need to stand up from the chair and sit down 5 times before you eat. And so now if you do that 3 meals a day, you've done 15 stand-ups from your chair. If you do it without using your arms, even better. And so you're going to eat anyway. So if you just make this part of your eating routine, just like taking the plate to the table and putting it in the dishwasher, now you have incorporated exercise into your routine. If you're emptying the dishwasher, you don't have to bend over at the waist. You could always do a little squat each time you're reaching down to get that dish or that silverware out of the bottom rack. When you brush your teeth at the bathroom counter, you can incorporate some standing exercises while you're doing that. And I have a handout of exercises that fit the bill just perfectly for the bathroom. You can, if you're watching the news or watching television, when a commercial comes on, you can stand up or sit down and do some exercises during the length of the commercial. The important thing is you want to have your equipment or your instructions handy so that you can access whatever you need easily, and it's always in sight. Having that visual reminder will help to remind you that, oh, I'm supposed to be doing something right now. And if you have your equipment handy, if you have your instructions handy, you don't have to go out of your way to make your exercise routine happen. So the easier it is to engage, the more likely you are to do it. And this is my favorite.
Yes.
You can also, exercise doesn't, again, have to mean sets or reps. Walking, dancing your way to the refrigerator to get that midnight snack. Any time that you're adding extra movement into your routine, you're burning calories, you're building strength, you're building endurance. So a lot of people are taking this opportunity for stay at home to do some spring cleaning. You know, cleaning out cabinets, cleaning out your closet, vacuuming your home. These are all things that are exercise. You're bending, you're stretching, you're moving, you're on your feet. So even just the act of gardening, cleaning in the house, just adding a little shimmy as you walk from one room to another can increase your exercise minutes throughout the day. Also, and I didn't mention this earlier, we said strive for 30 minutes a day, and 30 minutes does not have to be all at one time. You can, do a 2-minute video or a 10-minute video, but then you're adding the stand-ups to your meals. You're doing the squats while you empty your dishwasher. You're doing 5 minutes of standing exercises at your counter when you brush your teeth. All these minutes add up to 30 by the end of the day. Now, we recommended that you consult with your physician if you have not been a regular exerciser, especially if you have a heart or a lung condition. Before you start any cardiovascular exercise program, you should consult with your physician to see if there are parameters that are right for you. Certain medications will alter how your body responds to exercise. And for some people, certain exercises are good and recommended, and then some are not. So if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you have any underlying health conditions, absolutely check with your physician first. If you have injury, if you have pain, if you're just not sure what to do and you want to consult with a physical therapist, that is still possible for some during COVID-19. Many clinics, including ours, have suspended in-person care. So right now, to do our part at Steps for Recovery to prevent the spread of disease and illness, we are not seeing people in person, but we are doing what's called teletherapy, which if you're on here watching this Zoom, you can do teletherapy. You need to have a computer or some sort of video where you have a camera that we can talk to each other over the internet, and you need to have access to the internet. And so then your therapist or becomes more like a coach, and we ask you to do things and demonstrate movements and try different ways of doing whatever it is we're working on, and we coach you through it over the internet. Most commercial insurances will cover teletherapy during COVID-19. And this includes Medicare Advantage plans. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan that is administered by United Healthcare or Blue Cross, for most plans, teletherapy is an option. Unfortunately, traditional Medicare, so that's if you have that red, white, and blue Medicare card, you usually have a secondary or a supplement insurance to go along with it. Traditional Medicare plan is not currently covering telehealth. We get close. They've made a lot of strides toward making it possible, but have not pulled that final trigger to say that a therapist in private practice can bill for telehealth therapy. So we keep hoping this will change, but unfortunately, for traditional Medicare clients, teletherapy under your insurance is not an option. Now, we do have some reduced fee for service rates. So if you had a need and you were willing or wanted to pay cash for the service, we can do that since Medicare is not covering it. But hopefully, write your Congress people, call CMS, which is the governing body over Medicare, and say, hey, I'm a Medicare recipient. I need access to therapy. Make this telehealth happen. I don't want to put myself at more risk by going into a clinic. Plus, the clinics are all closed anyway. So the more voices that are shouting this message, the more likely we are to have it happen. Now, I mentioned that I was going to wrap all of this up into a nice, neat package for you. This is a picture of the Steps for Recovery website, and I will do one more quick share to show you. Let's see, let's take us back to Google. And I'll make this quick, but if you go to stepsforrecovery.com, under our services, we have a series that we've been doing since the clinic has been closed called Steps Live. And typically we post these on Facebook and Instagram, but we've added them to our website. And so on here, you can go, and I did one yesterday, which was a preview for today. And so if you wanted to watch that video, you could just come to this page and you'll see, oh, moving well and staying strong. So if I click this link, it's going to take me to the Facebook video that I did yesterday. And so you would have the ability to watch that. Now, the other thing that is with each video are resources. And so on this resource page, we'll click here for my presentation materials. I have a video, this one here, how to access YouTube. This will take you through step by step how I got to all of those channels on YouTube. And basically we'll give you in synopsis form very much the presentation that I gave today on the YouTube portion. So if you need a refresher on how to do that, you can just watch this video and it'll take you through step by step. If you are more of a paper and pencil, like you don't want to watch a video, you want to have a piece of paper to guide you through, I have made a written form of it here on this Accessing Your Virtual Fitness Program, complete with screenshots. So it'll take you through step by step how to access these videos on YouTube. And then if you want to have some ideas of some exercises that you can do, then we have this PDF, which if you saw this presentation when Tim and I took it on the road earlier, you'll recognize this. But these have all of the instructions, pictures for how to do the exercises. This is a great one to print out and have at your bathroom counter, because these are great bathroom counter exercises that you can do for strengthening and balance. And with that, I think I am done. So I am going to stop my sharing and turn it back over to you guys. I think. Did it work?
It did. Hello, audience. We're back. Katie, that was awesome. I think Gina and I was sitting there making some notes because we talked about yoga. I'm like, cool. We're gonna get one of those videos, or like you want to work on your abs. There's a 10-minute abs. We teamed on this. I can't believe it. Time flies. I think it's almost 3 years ago. We were at Searstone together, and it's pretty cool. Katie was out there. Okay, everybody up, and everybody's by their chair. And I think hopefully you had a couple of aha moments before we get to the open Q&A, and that is, you can do this. I got this. I'm blessed that Gina and I do a lot of things together. So there's the accountability partners, and she gets out of bed. I go, darn it, she rolled out of bed. I got to get up, but there's a lot to that. You can do this. You can see how beneficial it is mentally, physically. And the other thing is you can do it in your home. We worked out this morning in the living room. Little suboptimal, but it works. And you saw Katie's mom. It's really cool. That's like in the kitchen.
Yep.
If you like to spend time in the kitchen, great. You can do squats and have something cooking. That's Katie's like integrating your routine. I thought that was really cool. I'm gonna do the garbage and do a squat and then chuck it in the garbage. So thank you, Katie, for that awesome presentation. Also, what you do for everybody in the community. And I encourage everybody to go to their website and get this valuable information that Katie's made available. So at this point, I want to turn it over to our MC, Micah Kilgore. Do I need to unmute you, Micah?
Nope, I'm all set.
Okay. And we've had some questions come in from the audience. So Micah, fire away.
Yeah. So we actually have a few questions, some for each one of you. So Gina, first question is, so will your aides just start moving things around if they think my home isn't safe?
No, the short answer would be no. When we start service with a client, the RN does a home safety assessment, which is a snapshot in time, making sure that the basics are safe. But we do encourage the aides, if they saw clutter on the floor or a hazard, to talk to the client about it before moving things. And we do work with the therapists, the grab bars in place or the safety measures in place. So we encourage the aides, if there's a significant hazard, to give us a call at the office during their visit. But we would definitely work with the client and not move things around unless there was a potential immediate safety hazard. So I can imagine there are people concerned about that.
Okay, no, that's a good one. So then a follow-up. So then if that's the case, what do I have to do to make sure that the home care aides know what to do, that they know what to do?
So we'll develop a plan of care with that first assessment. It's a meeting, and finding out what the needs are, what the client's needs are. Many times it is incorporating therapy. So we make sure that we know where the therapy notes are, that they're instructed how to remind them how to do the exercises. So we work with the therapists. We make a plan of care that's reviewed with the client. Here's the tasks that the caregiver is going to do. And then there's an ongoing reassessment as someone's getting stronger, say after a knee replacement, they don't need as much help. The care plan and the tasks are always being reevaluated.
Excellent, thank you. Ms. Katie, you had mentioned a few things about some things being covered by insurance during this COVID-19. So are your physical therapy services just in general covered by insurance?
Yes. Well, yes. Yes and no. um, sorry, I should have expected that question. The physical, occupational, and speech therapy are covered services under insurance plans, provided they are medically necessary. So we can't do therapy just to do it, we can't do therapy that someone like a home care aide could follow up on. But if someone has a skilled need, then yes, therapy services are covered by insurance. And like I said, during telehealth, many insurance plans have opted to temporarily cover therapy via telehealth, but not Medicare, not traditional Medicare. Medicare Advantage plans, yes. Traditional Medicare, not yet.
Okay. So
Great.
then if they do require a doctor's order, how should I consult with my physician in terms of developing like a mobility plan or consulting with my physician?
So right now, the best way is to contact your doctor's office and see if they have options for telehealth or virtual care. Anytime that you can stay out of a healthcare facility right now is probably in your best interest. So my first recommendation would be call your doctor's office and see what options are available. Now, communicating with your physician via telehealth is, I think, universally covered. So even on a traditional Medicare plan that is not covering therapy visits via telehealth, communication with your physician likely is covered. And so, we're getting better at this each week that we do it. And I would imagine your physician is as well. And so there is a lot that you can do virtually in terms of assessment. And to be honest with you, having a home care aide, especially in the home at the time that you have that visit, is a huge asset because they can do things like check your blood pressure while you're on the phone with the doctor. The doctor can ask you to change positions and assess your response. And the home care aide is right there ensuring safety, doing anything that the doctor is asking. And we use that a lot on the therapy side as well. Some of our best sessions are when there is an aide that is in the home with the person while we're doing telehealth, because they can be my hands or any therapist's hands as we are going through the session.
All right, awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Gene, I think that kind of brings up a question. I think maybe you can fill in a little bit more on that, but someone was asking if the care partners aren't trained in physical therapy, how could they help with my exercises? Anything else you'd like to add to that?
Right. So the physical therapist identifies the correct exercises, and they're usually really great about having a written plan and pictures. So they're just there to remind and instruct them, and like Katie said, to be safe. So they're not coming up with the exercises like a therapist that knows what that person needs. They're that helper to make sure that they do them, remind them to do them.
And we've trained caregivers via telehealth quite successfully. And like I said, often having an aide or a caregiver in the home during the telehealth sessions is extremely valuable. And One of the things that we can do from a therapy perspective via telehealth that we can't do in our normal office care is to actually see you functioning in your home environment. And so it's been a great opportunity for caregiver education. If we can practice transfers, but it might not be the same as actually transferring into your shower. And so the aide can take the device or the tablet or whatever into your bathroom and do the transfer with you under the guidance of a therapist. And so these become really invaluable opportunities for us to ensure really optimal carryover and individualized care that is meets your specific needs. And so it's a great partnership. You don't have the aide does not have to be trained in person to have a successful relationship with the therapist.
Thank you very
I
much.
think that's great. I think for the sake of time, uh, we'll conclude the webinar. I want to thank all the audience. I know a lot of people will see this in the post, which is great. You can kind of skip around, but I encourage everybody to check out the resources that Katie mentioned in the video. Visit the Steps Recovery site and look at the resources, the videos, the instructions. The second thing in relation to home care and the theme we've continued, now this is our 5th seminar since we started this in April with our great partners like Katie, it's a team sport, that there's no mutual exclusivity here, is that we work with OT and PT together. And the great thing is, we're praying, but hopefully we'll get back out there again and Katie will have people coming to the office, but in their non-office time, they can practice the exercises that Katie has mapped out, and that's where home care can work together, and we've done it, and it's great. So I encourage you to seek out your doctor, get opinions, understand what insurance covers, what it doesn't, but the main thing is move. Moving is good. Keep moving. That's all I keep thinking. The more you move, all good comes from it. When you stop, you never know, you start to freeze up. So keep moving. God bless you. Stay safe, and thank you for joining us. And Katie, thanks once again. We look forward to seeing you in person sometime in the future.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us.